Good Thursday morning. I'm NTV Chief Meteorologist Eddie Shear. It's 8:44 a.m. The date is October the 18th, 2018, and this is going to be your semi-complicated weather vlog for the morning. As we take a look at live radar imagery, you'll notice a couple of things. We've got rain across eastern Newfoundland moving from southwest to northeast. So this heavy stuff that we see down across the southwest portion of the Avalon and working its way on toward the Avalon North, that will move over the metro in the next, I would say, half hour or so. And we see a brief period of some rainfall, then just showers as we go into the afternoon. But notice into areas of interior Newfoundland, what do we see here? That is snow, my friends. But keep in mind, in this area, the radar beam is still pretty high above the ground. So more than likely what we are seeing is snow aloft, falling into a warmer air mass and hitting the ground as some rain. Now, that being said, I do think that as the day progresses, we will see some cooler air moving in aloft as winds begin to turn more northerly, and those northerly winds are going to begin to take the precipitation that we're seeing across central right now, push in that cooler air that's coming in from the north and from Labrador, and begin to change that rain over to snow from the higher elevations first to the lower elevations later this afternoon and as we head into this evening. As we go ahead and we kind of bring in the satellite picture here, what you'll see is this big swirl. There's a couple of swirls actually, but you'll see this big kind of circulation swirl, and it might be a bit hard to see, but if I put an area of low pressure somewhere in here, we can begin to see that circulation is kind of doing something like this morning. It's pumping some moisture up into Labrador in the form of snow around Happy Valley-Goose Bay, and on the backside of it, some cooler air is beginning to be pushed down around the backside of this low. But this low today is actually going to begin to transfer its energy to a secondary low developing somewhere in here, and as that happens, this will give its energy to this low. As this low begins to work its way north, it begins to pull in that cooler air, and that's why we have that rain changing over to snow scenario for areas of central and western and northwestern Newfoundland this afternoon, with some accumulation of some kind. I'm not sure how much there's going to be. I say down low. If we see any snow, it's not going to be until tonight. Higher elevations will likely be seeing some accumulating snow this afternoon. So if you're on the TCH, let's say once west of Badger, between Badger and Corner Brook, just outside of Corner Brook, higher elevations there, we'll definitely be seeing some snow today, and the higher elevations as well between Stephenville and Port aux Basques. Also, likely we'll be seeing some snow by this afternoon. So it's going to turn slippery in some areas later today. We are getting into that middle part of October. As we take a look at the wind streamlines here this morning, we can kind of see the circulations beginning to take shape. Here's the main one somewhere back in here, and it looks like here's our secondary low beginning to form somewhere in there. Now, with temperatures being a little bit on the chilly side already, we are 9 degrees in St. Lawrence, 7 St. John's, but notice it's 2 in Badger, 3 at Lassie, and 3 in Gander. So the temperatures are already not that far from being able to support snow. So once the temperatures drop to 1, maybe 2 this afternoon, I do suspect we'll see some wet flakes in this evening. Temperatures generally across central and western Newfoundland will begin to fall near or below that old freezing mark. So here's Futurecast. Again, I think it's a little bit overzealous on showing the snow in this area this morning. Higher elevations, sure. Lower elevations, definitely not quite yet. As we go through the morning hours, we see this area of low pressure drifting to the north. Here's our secondary beginning to take shape. North of that, we have the rain that's currently falling on the Avalon, working its way toward Bonavista Bay and the northeast coast by lunchtime. There's that snow and rain across the southwest portion of the island, and there's that snow pushing into Happy Valley-Goose Bay. As we get into 5, 6 o'clock this afternoon and 7 o'clock this evening, the main low will then be northeast of Cape Friels. And on the backside of that low, notice the air beginning to be pushed in from the north. That will begin to change that rain over to snow for areas like Corner Brook, Deer Lake, Rocky Harbor, Springdale, many areas of the Bay Verte Peninsula, the Northern Peninsula. Higher elevations first, lower elevations, definitely we'll see that happen by this evening. And notice as we get into midnight, there's that snow really falling across much of the western half of the island. Areas right along the immediate coastline may have some issues seeing snow because the water is still pretty warm, but just inland, just south of areas like Point Leamington and Leading Tickles, I suppose that those areas will be seeing snow. But let's say you're up in Lewisport, maybe seeing rain this evening in the overnight. Once you get down closer to Gander, you will definitely be seeing snow by tomorrow morning. And once we get into tomorrow morning, the precipitation gets a little bit less organized, the low begins to pull away, and whatever's left will begin to basically wind down as flurries or rain showers by mid-morning tomorrow. The big question I think a lot of people are going to have after watching this is, what are the accumulations going to be? And I would say in the lower elevations, which is like Corner Brook, Grand Falls, Windsor, Bishop's Falls, even Gander to an extent, in the areas all between, 2-3 centimeters, maybe 5 if we're lucky. Higher elevations of the long-range mountains, sure, we could see 10-15 centimeters between today and tomorrow morning. But that's the high elevations. Higher elevations along the TCH may be slippery as well. So keep that in mind if you're going to be driving this afternoon between like Gander and Corner Brook, and then between Corner Brook and Port aux Basques, because that area, really between Stephenville and Port aux Basques, where we have the mountains, I think will get pretty slippery later today. All right, have a great day. I'll post updates as needed, but it's snow. I mean, it's nothing we can't handle, and it's nothing we haven't seen before, so there's no need to panic. Have a great afternoon. Have a great morning, and I'll be seeing you at 5:30 on First Edition and the evening news hour between 6 and 7, all on NTV, and also our weather photo contest starts today, I believe. So check back for details on that as we get into the afternoon. Have a great morning. Hope you found this informative as always, and I'll see you later.